Hello everyone, and welcome back to me. How are we all doing today, guys? So, obviously we have the new Chronicles anime. Is it the anime? Is it the show? The shorts? Whatever you want to call it. I call it the anime. We have the Chronicles anime coming out. I think as of recording, I think it's tomorrow. I could be wrong on that. I'm pretty sure it's happening tomorrow. That's pretty cool. Which is going to be covering the Magistus stuff. Now, if anyone doesn't know, if anyone is like me, who likes the card lore, right? I like the card lore. I like knowing what's going on. It's cool, right? But if anyone doesn't know the Magistus lore, not that anyone should care about this, but I do, I like it. So Magistus is like the precursor to Endymion stuff, to Witchcrafter stuff, to Invoked stuff, to Prophecy stuff, to a lot of different like spell counter cards in the game, the lore on that. I feel like there's more that I'm missing, but I could be wrong. Also, just like First of the Dragons is also like in that same sort of whatever, you know, in the manga and all that. I read the manga. Manga's good. I like it. Right. So I'm going to take it over to the setup over here, because what I have here to combine some of these is a Magistus Witchcrafter deck. Now, it is heavy on the Magistus, light on the Witchcrafter. The Witchcrafter stuff is there mainly as like an engine to help you access your Magistus stuff more consistently. But, you know, it is a little bit of Witchcraft a little here and there. There is one card in particular that we don't have yet in the TCG, that being the Ver Maid of Endymion. We don't have that yet. That was I think it was a V-Jump promo, if I'm not mistaken, recently, I think in January. I have no idea when we're getting that card. That card is so good for this deck. So I'm excited for as when we do get that card, but we do not have it yet, unfortunately. The deck works well without it. It just is a little bit less consistent. You only need a 1, but it does help the deck a lot. So I'll go over the deck. I'll go card by card, and then I'll do a test hand and actually see how good of a hand I can do. Watch me utterly brick on the test hand, but I'll try and show you the combo. So we have 3 Spencer, the Magistus Sealer. You can discard this card to add a Magistus monster from your deck to your hand, or to is it 1,000? Or to halve the attack of one monster you put in control to the end of the turn. That was it. Also, then you can banish it from the graveyard, target one monster you control, and equip it with a Magistus monster from your extra deck or your graveyard. So this is very good. It's integral for the strategy because it's a 1-card starter. But it's also obviously, you probably have seen this in Drakitel, in a lot of other decks, because it also just like, this is one card, like, I did some testing with this a while ago when this first came out. This card by itself, before the Forbidden Limited lists came out, this is full Yomimitsu combo by itself. Now, that's with a lot of bricks, I grant you, but it does it does a lot, because none of the Magistus stuff really locks you. The only card I can think of that locks you in Magistus is I think it's Reliona and the Wardrobe, whatever it is, the Xyz that Reliona's on. That Magistus locks you. However, I don't think anything else does, so it's very, very open deck. Speaking of 3 Reliona, this is not the Xyz one. This does not lock you. This, when it's normal summoned, add 1 is it Witchcrafter or is it Magistus? It is Magistus, yeah. 1 Magistus spell or trap from your deck to your hand, or you can return one of your banish level 4 low spellcasters from to your graveyard. Both of which are quite good. Mainly using the search for this. Also, when it's in the graveyard, you can banish it and then target one of your face-up. I think it's just Magistus monsters, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So I need to. I'm fairly new to this deck, so I'm going to keep reading the cards every now and then. Target 1 Magistus monster you control and equip 1 Magistus monster from your graveyard, except to level 4. So, like, you know, your Links, your Fusions, your Xyzes, your Synchros, none of those are level 4. Actually, apart from Chorozo, but there you go. So, yeah. This is also a 1-card starter. The way that these are 1-card starters is this searches this, and then during this combo, you search this and get it into graveyard. So they're both 1-card starters because they both kind of do almost the exact same thing. We then have only 2 copies of Crowley. I don't know that you need the 3rd. It's kind of a brick by itself, but if you play it at 1, it's even harder of a brick, because if you draw the only one you have and you don't have a way of summoning it from hand, it really hurts. Now, I probably will cut this down to 1, maybe I'll say, I don't know probably, but maybe cut this down to 1 when the, the Ver Maid of Endymion comes out, because again, what makes that so good is that it's a starter without using a normal summon. So if you have this in hand, and you have the way to access your Ver instead, you can still normal summon this and get the same effect. So, I don't know. I still like it at 2, though. I think it works at 2. I only play 1 Zoroa. Zoroa's bad, but it's integral. It's really weird. It is a starter for the deck technically, but it's such a low quality starter that I kind of don't think of it as one. I don't consider it a brick as such, because you can summon it from your hand for free with the right setup and whatnot. So it's not necessarily a brick, but it is also integral to all of your plays in this deck, because this, like, if everyone ever plays against this deck, this is your choke point. Go Soga this, imperm this. They're not having a good day if you do that. It is technically a starter. It's just a kind of a low quality starter in my opinion, or at the very least I've not managed to like break it. You know, I've not managed to figure out how this is by itself a 1-card starter. If you pack your deck with Magistus cards, lots of 2-card combos this is involved. So many 2-card combos this is involved in, genuinely. But as for like your consistent 1-card combos, it doesn't really do much by itself, but you do need it. It's integral to your plays. Then 2 copies of Witchcrafter Jenny. If you look up a lot of like Magistus combos online, you need one of these in your deck specifically to send off of this card here and then get its graveyard effect. So I was playing 2 to avoid the brick. However, if you play these 2 plus a Shmieta, all of these cards are 1.5 card combos. As long as you draw one of these with a spell, it's actually full combo. So this is why I play the slightly heavier Witchcrafter engine, because it turns these from being a brick in the deck to actually, as long as you draw it with a spell, which half of your deck nearly is a spell, yeah, this is actually combo. So I wanted to lean a bit more heavily into the Witchcrafter stuff to make it a bit more viable. And then playing 3 Ash Blossom, of course, 2 Droll, and 3 Filler. Very light on the hand interactions. I do have a few more later on, but I'm actually playing a bit more of a field-breaking kind of build, because again, I want that high spell count. I want those more spells in the deck, and a lot of good field breakers are also spells, so like quick play spells and whatnot. So it makes sense. It made sense to me at the very least. I did take this deck to locals last night, and I went 2-2. The games I played were fun. I will say, this is not meant to be an extremely powerful meta deck. This is a fun deck. This is someone taking to locals, having a fun time with it. I took a different build last night, and the build I took last night, I was like, okay, this is my test build. I know where I went wrong on the build. I know I can fix it. And this is my updated build, which I feel very good about. And I'll take it to locals again next week. Anyway, on to spells. Their Magic Lacrimosa. You know what, sorry. I'm going very out of order here. I didn't bother reading what any of these other cards do. I stopped after Leona. So, we have Crowley. When this is added to your hand, you can special summon it from your hand once per turn, and then when it's summoned, you can use it. You can fuse with monsters that you control, either in your hand or on your field, to summon a Magistus or invoked monster. So this is what Crowley does. It's like a bit like a Snake Eyes Ash, but you just kind of don't want to draw it at all. We have the Zoroa. Zoroa's effect is you can target 1 Magistus monster you control and equip it with 1 Magistus monster from your extra deck. And then when this card is equipped with I think just with anything, I could be wrong, equipped with a Magistus monster card specifically, special summon 1 level 4 or lower spellcaster from your hand or graveyard in defense position, can't speak today, accept itself, but its effects are negated. This is why this is so integral, because it just adds bodies to your field really easily. You need it on the field for that. Then we go to the Witchcrafter cards. There is Jenny. All the Witchcrafter cards, I don't know about all, but at the very least the small Witchcrafter cards share the same effect, which is, as a quick effect, you can send it to the graveyard and also a spell card from your hand to the graveyard to summon a Witchcrafter monster from your deck. Jenny's other effect is that you can banish itself and a Witchcrafter spell from your graveyard to basically copy one of the effects on that spell. This is really important and does come up. It's like integral to most of your plays. And then we have Shmieta. Shmieta again has the you can quick effect send itself on a spell to summon a Witchcrafter from deck. Also, in the graveyard, you can banish it to send a Witchcrafter spell from your deck to the graveyard. These work together. I'll show you how they work together in a bit. Now onto the spells. Apologies for skipping over those before. So, their Magic Lacrimosa of Light. This is always treated as both a Magistus and a Witchcrafter spell. So this is why it's not so much a bridge as that's why there's synergy here. There's also a very similar one it's treated as a Magistus and Endymion spell, because there's a lot of different stuff. I'm excited for if ever we get Endymion support, because that seems cool, but maybe, we'll see. Anyway, activate one of these effects, but you can only activate each effect of their Magic Lacrimosa of Light once per turn. So it has 2 effects, and you can do one of each, basically. First effect, if you control a Magistus or Witchcrafter monster, send one spellcaster monster or spell from your deck to the graveyard. That, to me, seems real broken. It's only used in this, obviously, because you need to control that specific kind of monster, but any spellcaster or spell, I've not looked into this too much. This feels like it could be real good at some point, but I digress. The second effect is when your opponent activates a card or effect, that's the condition for the activation, special summon one Magistus or Witchcrafter monster from your hand or deck. Now, I'll explain to you why that's good. So obviously there's the aspect of this where when your opponent like tries to do something, you can respond to it by actually, no, I'm going to do this. And it's like quick effects, I'm going to summon from hand or deck. The condition of that is it has to respond to your opponent, basically. Now, Jenny can copy this effect. So if you have these two in graveyard, Jenny can banish both of them to copy that effect. The condition for this effect becomes Jenny's condition of banishing both, but it becomes Jenny's effect. So you can effectively, you can use each effect of this once per turn, and also when it's in the graveyard with Jenny, use another one of them once per turn, because it becomes Jenny's effect instead. And the condition, again, is not that it responds to your opponent, it just does that, because that's Jenny's condition. That's why this works, because Jenny's a very powerful card in this deck. So that's this. And then running one copy of Magistus. This card's probably coming out in favour of the Maid of Endymion. It's not a bad card. It's not awful by any means. It's just the effect is that you can, each of your Magistus monsters equipped with a equip card, can't be destroyed by battle once per turn each turn. And also you can either, during your main phase, special summon one level 4 spellcaster from your hand, or send this to the graveyard. It's a continuous spell. Send it to the graveyard to summon as many Magistus monsters as different names as possible from your hand. So it's not bad. It just isn't doing anything by itself. I kind of like having it just in case I draw both Crowleys, and I can search this ideally. But yeah, it's not bad. It just, if you draw it with Zoroa, it's good, because that then does get you your full combo. But, you know, it's alright. It does the job. One Magistus Retrap. This card is basically just the archetypal monster reborn. It does have a protection effect in graveyard where... what is it again? I'm going to read these again. I know these, I swear. When a Magistus card in your spell and trap card zone will be spell and trap zone will be destroyed, you can banish it from graveyard instead, so it protects your stuff. But also, it's an archetypal, searchable monster reborn. That's why I like it. This is staying in after I get some new cards as well. I didn't care about this card that much to begin with. It helps a lot with the grind game. So as I say, I only want to run one Zoroa because I don't really like drawing it that much. But if I can just search this on like turn 2 or 3, whatever, I can then summon it again. So this helps a lot with the grind game, and also is just a spell that you can discard. Like, I like this card a lot. This card, it's technically kind of an extender as well in the right circumstances. Say, for example, your opponent like Ghost Ogre something or just destroy something, you can bring it back. Yeah, it's not a bad card. It's niche, but it does come up, and I do like it. 3 copies of Witchcrafter Creation. The reason I play this is because, again, if you draw one of these with another spell, that's your full combo, because that gets you one of your Witchcrafter cards, which, again, with a spell is full combo. So the play's kind of heavy into draw, obviously, but it's just a way to make the deck working system. I did play Radiant Typhoon Vision instead of this with an MST as well. I was planning on playing this only with their Maid of Endymion, because if you search there with this, that card's effect is when you've activated a spell that turn, special summon it from hand, and then when it's summoned, special summoned, that's what I say, you can add a Witchcrafter spell or trap from dead hand, which, that, right? And that again is full combo. So it becomes a fully 1-card combo with that card. However, it is still now a like 1.5 card combo, so it's still good, and I like it a lot. Then onto the non-engine, we have 3 Droplet. Droplet's just insane at the moment, and again, it's a spell, it's a field breaker, fantastic card. 3 Fallen the Virtuous. I do have one other one in the post, but I just have a proxy for now. Again, just a fantastic card, it's another spell. You can also use the effect of the Synchro Ecclesia to say, it's just level 8 fusion it sends back, so it can send back your Fusion Zoroa or your Fusion Iowas. So there you go, it's quite good. 1 Call by the Grave, 1 Crossout, and 1 Triple Tactic Talent, because Crossout is obviously a bit more niche than the others. Actually, to be fair, I did win a game with this at locals last night. Good pal of mine I was playing against, and he was on branded, just pure branded, which is like the more synchro variant he's playing. I had the Synchro Zoroa summoned equipped with the Fusion and the Synchro, so he couldn't activate the effects of Fusion or Synchro monsters. He top decked to Fallen the Virtuous, I had Crossout set. And that just won me the game on the spot. Like, that was it. So, Crossout does come up a little bit, obviously. Mainly it's for like the more charmy outs or whatnot. But, you know, it's also like obviously subject to be taken out at some point, because it's just the least, out of these three like power one-offs for going first, this is my least favourite, but it's still good. And 3 Imperm. Again, it's a field breaker, but it's also a hand interaction. It's good. Imperm's good. If I had the card / the money for the card, I'd probably get Forbidden Crown instead. But Imperm does the job, and it actually does come up a little bit more a bit later, which I can show you as well. Onto the extra deck. I'll go this way around first. 1 SP Little Knight. This used to be a very integral part of my end field before I made some tweaks. I basically would do IP into SP. IP is no longer in the deck, so I don't do that very often, but it's still nice to have this. It's just a good card to have generically, obviously. 1 Endymion the Crescent Magistus. Now, what this card does. Endymion the Crescent Magistus is a link 2, including spellcaster, so level 4 spellcaster, sorry, so fairly generic. When it's summoned, you can target one, I think it's just Magistus cards you control, maybe just one spellcaster. Again, I'm going to read these again, because I know them, I just don't know them off by heart. You target one Magistus monster you control, equip it with one spellcaster monster from your graveyard, or banishment as an equip spell. Then, during the main phase, quick effect, you can target one spellcaster monster card in your spell and trap card zone, treat it as an equip spell, return it to the hand. You can only use each effect once per turn. So, the reason this works is that when you summon it, you equip it with Crowley, and then during your opponent's turn, you add credit back to your hand to summon Crowley, and then use the fusion again. So this does a fusion during your opponent's turn, and lets you use the same Crowley again. Because obviously Crowley's once per turn, which is a shame. Crowley being once per turn, meaning you have to use this to like recycle Crowley. So this is just a fantastic card. 2 Artemis, I feel like you do need 2. 2 is super integral. There's an argument to be made for 3, I think, for the grind game, but 2's enough. But yeah, you do need 2 of these. What Artemis does when nothing on summon, it's just 1 level 4 lower spellcaster to summon it as the link 1 material. When you summon a Magistus monster, I think it's Magistus monster. If another Magistus monster is normal special summon where you control this card, you can equip it to it basically. But while it's equipped to a monster, you can use its effect to search for a Magistus monster from your deck. So this again is used in like the Dragon Tail combo because it searches for a bunch of stuff. But yeah, Artemis very good. 1 Ninaruru, the Magistus Glass Goddess. So the on-field effect of this is 2 spellcasters to summon it. The on-field effect of this is that you can attach a material to add 1, I believe it's Magistus, but it could be spellcaster, to add 1 level 4 or higher spellcaster monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. So the use case for that effect is that you're probably going to either detach whatever and then add back a Crowley, summon Crowley, go from there. You can fuse with it, right? Because you add it back to your hand. More often than not, you're using this just for the equip effect, which is that the equip monster can attack your opponent's monsters twice in that turn. And also, you can use it as kind of like a very slow Mystical Space Typhoon. So it's not a quick effect, but you can target itself and a spell and trap on the field and destroy them both. So it's basically just a slower Mystical Space Typhoon. But also, equip it to the Zeroa. You get a Floodgate against these monsters, so it's very good. 1 Ecclesia, because you TFA TV, so there you go. 1 Varam, the Magistus Divinity Dragon. You don't often summon this. You can, and when you can, it can be really good. So what this card does, and we read the effects through. While this card is an equip card, the equip master cannot be destroyed by your opponent's spell and trap effect. So it's protection already. Very good. You can only use each of the following effects of Varam once per turn. If this synchro summon card is destroyed, you can destroy all face-up cards your opponent controls. Now, you would make this, and then you'd have the Zero effect in graveyard, which if you don't know is to destroy, I believe, just a Magistus card that you control, and then summon itself. So you can literally destroy this with your own Zeroa, summon this, and then blow up your opponent's field. You don't do that often, but it does come up. The last effect is that, let me double check where we were, at the start of the damage step, if the monster this card is equipped to battles an opponent's monster, you can destroy that opponent's monster. So it's also just a nice way to out a monster sometimes as well. 1 Zeroa. This card's very good. You don't summon it all the time, but it's sort of like your crackback on turn 3 with this a lot of the time. Once you know what your opponent's playing, you don't necessarily need this going first. I think it's too easy to out when you're going first, and your opponent just can You can TFA TV this, you can droplet this. This is so easy to out when you're going first. When you're on the crackback on turn 3, this can be game ending straight away. Once you know what your opponent's playing, you can just end the game then and there. It's very, very good. So what this card does, if the card is synchro summoned, you can equip one Magistus monster from your extra deck to this card. Your opponent cannot activate the effects of monsters with the same type, fusion, synchro, Xyz, or link, so extra deck, as a Magistus monster in your spell and trap card zone. Not just equipped to this, just in the spell and trap card zone. So it's not at all an uncommon occurrence to have this on the field with like this here and this here and this here. Not uncommon. So you can have your opponent completely locked out of the effects of links, Xyz, synchros, and later we'll see fusions as well. This is your Lunar Light out, for example, because as long as your opponent doesn't understand what this card does, it outs Lunar Light immediately, because you just summon it, equip it with Iwas, this goes to 39 attack, and also your opponent can't activate the effects of Like An Answer anymore. So this is a very strong card, self-recurring, very powerful. Yeah, great card to have. You so rarely summon this going first, because it's very easy to out when you're going first, but on the crackback, game ending. Albion, TFA TV. Unfortunately, I have something disgusting here, even after that Floodgate. I've got another Floodgate, Invoke Kaliga. I'll show you the combo in a bit. You can summon this on your opponent's turn quite easily with Endymion. It's kind of gross, but it's... So, what I was doing with this, my end field, when I was playing this last night, when I was going uninterrupted, my end field was linked to Endymion, equipped with Crowley, Fusion Zeroa, and an IP Masquerader. So you get like a Snatch Steal by bouncing back the Crowley, summoning it, and then getting like Iwas. You get like a Send with the Zeroa to negate something, and you get like IP into SP. That was your end field. Someone has said to me, "Oh, are you going to go into Kaliga?" And I went, "Haha, no." And then I went, "Wait, why am I not going into Kaliga? Like, you can go into it so easy in this deck." So yeah, unfortunately, Kaliga. Invoke Mechaba. Again, you can just make it really easy. You get everyone knows what Mechaba does. If you don't know what Mechaba does, you can, when your opponent activates a card or effect, you can discard a card of the same type, so like Master Spell Trap, to negate and banish. It's an omni negate basically. Provided you have the card in hand, it's an omni. Kaliga, I'll go over again. Sorry. Each player can only attempt to activate one monster effect per turn. Each player can only attack with one monster during each battle phase. Disgusting card. But I'm going to use it. 1 Zeroa, the Magistus Veras Ragnar. Love this card. It's such an insanely good card. It's 1 Magistus monster plus 1 fusion, synchro, Xyz, or link monster to summon it. Honestly, it's an argument to be made here for running super poly in the main deck, because you can just summon a Magistus and then poly it away to this. So it's an argument to be made for that, I think. I might come back to that at some point because it seems very strong. But you can target one effect master in your graveyard or your opponent controls. Equip that effect master to this card. So it is a field breaker immediately as long as it's not something too volatile. If it's just a big guy, you can just sort of, I've got it, mine now, you know? So it's very good in that sense. Secondly, when a monster effect is activated, quick effect, you can send one face-up Magistus monster card you control to the graveyard, negate that effect, then you can destroy one card your opponent controls, optionally. And then, yeah, once per turn. This is really good. This is a Nibiru protection. It's what you use, generally speaking, for that. It's a very, very good card. I learned the sort of basic combo for this from, shout out to YouTuber, I think Gunnergard, I think his name is. I would pronounce it Nergard because I would do the silent G at the start, but I think it's Gunnergard. Great combos from that guy. So I learned like the basic Magistus combo from him. From my understanding, much to his chagrin, I don't think he likes being known as the Spenter guy, but unfortunately I know him as the Spenter guy. But yeah, so I learned that from him. I was using this initially. I actually more often than not use Mechaba now because it's the same line you use to summon it, but I think they're both very similar in what they do, but more often than not I'm going to go Mechaba. 1 Iwas is fantastic. It is a Snatch Steal effect. You use a quick effect Snatch Steal your opponent's monster, equip to it, boom, that's what you need to know. Also, when it's equipped to a monster, it gains 1,000 attack and defense, so it's very good. And then 2 copies of Magistus Chorizo. I might end up taking one of these out. I don't know what I'd replace it with, but I might take one of these out. It's just real nice to have. Because obviously this is like a contact fusion with cards you control on your field. You've got a bunch of spellcasters and links and stuff in the back row. you just send those to the graveyard and summon this for free. So it's a free body, it's an L4, it's a tuner, there's decent effects, you get a fusion material, so yeah. I maybe I'm going to cut one of those, but I kind of think I've missed the second one, and I don't really know what I'd put in. I could, like, I was thinking, do I cut one of those and put back in the IP? I used the second one to get to the IP, so that combo's dead either way, so if I take one out, so I don't know what I'd use it with. Side deck is pretty basic. Side deck is 3 Veiler. Veiler's just obviously just a decent card, but the main thing I use with Veiler is the fact that it's a spellcaster, because if you have this paired with the quick effect Ver Magic Lacrimosa of Light, you can normal summon this, link it into Artemis Magistus Moon Maiden, then activate Ver Magic and go from there. That's your full combo. So I like this side name for going first, sometimes second, feels pretty good. So 3 Veiler, 3 Meows, 3 Perilia, 1 Harpies, 1 Lightning Storm, 2 Lightning Storms, I should say, 1 Solemn Judgment, and 2 Warning. These are all fairly standard. There's nothing really overly exciting about these cards, obviously. These are just sort of, yeah, like, these are standard side deck options for going first, going second. Don't think I need to explain these too much. I will quickly now go over a test hand to try and show off the combo to you guys. Because I want to sort of demonstrate the full combo. The field that you end on is not the most spectacular thing in the world, I won't lie to you. It's not insane, it's just, hopefully, it's just enough, you know? I'll try and demonstrate what it is that you can do with this. I'll give it a good shuffle because these were obviously organised, so I want to make sure these are very well randomized before I do any dealings and whatnot. But yeah, but like it's a fun deck. This is not going to be a high meta contender. When Cool Tune is big in the meta, this deck will just suffer because it kind of needs all of its extra deck cards, and if you keep ripping them, then it's going to struggle. You know, it doesn't have a great answer to Mitsurugi all the time. It's not the best deck in the world. Don't get me wrong. I just like it. It's just fun, and again, I like the Magistus lore and all that good stuff. So. Let's check out this test hand, see what the damage is. Watch me break. No, that's full combo. So I will show you the full combo with this. So Spencer's full combo by itself, which I will show you. But I'm kind of tempted just to take a Witchcrafter monster to show you that as well. The issue with the Witchcrafter line is that it doesn't play into Nibiru very well. Once you get to 5th summon, you're not there yet. You Nibiru, you lose. Spencer and Reliona do play into Nibiru fine. So, you know, obviously this is nice to have Ash in hand as well. But I'll just show you the combo. So, we'll do Spencer to search for Reliona. Some Reliona. Effect to add a Magistus spell or trap from deck to hand. I don't think there are any Magistus traps, so I'm waiting for that thing to come out. We'll add Ver Magic. Activate Ver Magic to send Jenny to the graveyard. At this point, I would, generally speaking, link off into Artemis. Don't need to do that right now. It's just that sometimes you might catch your opponent off guard with like a Charmy, for example, because it might not be expecting a link one. But then you go for Jenny effect, banishing itself and the spell to summon come on, brain, you can do it. Which is it? A Magistus or Witchcrafter monster from deck or hand. I was thinking, is that or Spellcaster? But no, it's more specific than that. Then you go to summon your Zoroa. Use Zoroa's effect to equip itself with a Magistus monster from the extra deck. Go with Artemis. Artemis effect to search. So the reason that these kind of are interchangeable is that at the moment I've used Spencer to search for Reliona and go from there. If I went to start Reliona, I'd search Spencer here and then go for Crowley afterwards. As it happens, Spencer's already there. Go Crowley straight away. That's truly the only change in those combos. That's the only thing that's different in those. So add Crowley, summon Crowley, checking hand, yeah. At this point, I would go for Mechaba, because this is Nib protection straight away. But the reason I'm going Mechaba here is because during the opponent's turn, I want to be able to negate a spell if needs be. That's the whole reason, you know. Obviously, Zoroa is good, but it only stops a monster. It does also destroy a card on the field, optionally, but this banishes. So I think Mechaba is a little bit better sometimes. Not all the time, I'll say. Not all the time, but some. Like, if I just had a handful of monsters, I would absolutely go for Zoroa, because I would rather keep the hand advantage, but the fact that I have an option to negate a spell here means I'm going to go Mechaba. I'm then going to go for Reliona, targeting Zoroa. Equip it with Artemis. Zoro effect to summon Crowley. You contact fuse these two away into Chorozo. and then you link these two into Endymion. Endymion effect, I would target itself, but it doesn't really matter that much. Target itself to equip itself with the Crowley. This is your field. This is it, right? It doesn't seem that impressive. It's an Omni Negate and an attack negate and bounce and a few options with Endymion, right? This is why this works. So go to the opponent's turn. You pass there. Opponent's turn, the first chance you get, Endymion, bounce back Crowley, summon Crowley, then fuse with these two into Caliga. So what you have now is your opponent can only activate one more monster effect this turn. You can as well, but so can your opponent. You can stop it. So this is how this works. So ideally, obviously, if the monster effect is not that impactful, the spell very much can be. If it's like Droplet, if it's like, for example, TFA TV, you can stop it by discarding the spell. And then your opponent can do nothing else, because your opponent's like, well, I can't activate more monster effects. I can't. Not many, some can, but not many decks can very easily summon a monster that has 1800 attack or more, like a normal summon or whatever. Yeah, pass turn. So come back to me. I do a little shuffly shuffle. I do a little shuffling. Not very good. But I mean, at this point, you can just sort of normal summon. Actually, no, sorry, you can't do that. We can link. Either way, you can like just like link these off if you want to continue playing yourself. Or something I should have done last turn, to be fair, in the first turn, I should have gone for Spenter's effect, equipping, say, Mechaba with an Artemis, and then during this turn, I can use the Artemis, because Artemis is an equip spell currently, so I can use the Artemis to search for something, say the other Crowley. Crowley, summon itself, that's your monster effect, so you can't use the fusion, but you can also just, actually, just anything, doesn't really matter, but let's just say, I'm overthinking this at this point, because I'm still not like an expert at this deck, but I'll probably go for like Riliona. Go Riliona. I'll summon Riliona, I get the effect to search, let's say I grab, doesn't really matter what I grab at this point, and go there. Now, I obviously don't want to locked by Caliga. Like, it's nice because you can leave the Caliga up if you want to, because obviously it's not like that's bad to leave up. Just think you might just really ruin your opponent's day if you do that. But if you want to play here and like try and go for game, you go for like Ninururu effect. Attach this. Add Crowley back to your hand. Crowley summon itself. Crowley fuse. So you go for Zoroa. You keep playing from there. You can see where you're going from that. Like, after that, you just keep playing, keep going. You can quite easily go for more summons. You can get like another Chorozo out. You get level 4, you go for Zoroa, the Synchro Zoroa. You get a lot done from there. So, yeah, it's the game plan here is to make your opponent go, oh, I can't do anything. And then pass back to you. And then on the crackback, you just like lock down your opponent, because at that point, even if you can't go for game, you can summon Synchro Zoroa and lock them out of things a bit more sort of permanently out of their like their extra deck stuff without having to lock yourself out with Caliga. So that's the game plan. It's kind of gross if it does work, because it just means that your opponent can't play. But that's the game plan. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I don't know how long this is currently. Oh, it's a long one. You know what? It'll be fun. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that. Hope you guys are looking forward to the Chronicle stuff. I know I certainly am, as you can see. Yeah, and also thanks everyone who's commented me on various posts on social media. I'm going to be commentating UK Nationals this year. I am ecstatic. I cannot wait. What an insane honour that will be. I'm so excited for the day. Yeah, can't wait. Fantastic. Can't wait. I'll see you there. Thanks for watching, guys. See you soon. Take care.